but there has to be a song that makes a grown man go, damn, kid, you just took my job.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened every time. Every time we get that, there's a new movement.
Hey, it's Elliott Wilson from Rap Radar, and this is the truth, man. There's been a lot of talk this year about the state of New York hip hop. Why haven't Big Apple acts been making more of an impact? Well, I know one artist that's been quietly shaking up the game. A young man who is an actor turned singer, Staten Island's own Mack Wilds. Last September, he dropped New York: A Love Story, a promising debut album overseen by Salaam Remi. Salaam is his producer and the man that signed him. And we were outside his offices here at Sony headquarters, and I'm gonna talk to the dynamic duo about their project and why they decided to bring back the traditional New York sound through R&B. Walk with me, man, it's the truth. Yeah, man, Elliott Wilson for Rap Radar, it's the truth. I'm in the studio with super producer Salaam Remi. What's up, baby?
What's up, man? How you?
And your artist, Mack Wilds. What's up, Mack?
What up, man?
Yo, man, first of all, Salaam, Mack, you don't know Salaam been hitting me in the head, man. He's talking about you for a while. I was sleeping, man. I'm awake now. I apologize. But no, I feel like a lot of people have, I feel like your project is one, a lot of records came out, it's been an exciting year in music, but your album is starting to really, continue to grow and resonate with people. Like, it's almost like a sleeper of the year, or like,
definitely.
a lot of my peers are bigging it up. We live in an age where people dispose music real quick. But
Yeah.
your record seems to be keep gaining more and more momentum as we go into the next year.
Yeah, I know, man. Honestly, I think it's just the hard work that we put into it. I think a lot of people are so used to making microwavable, music to an extent that it's like, they're used to put it out and okay, I'm done with it, on to the next joint, where we really took our time and really cooked up something great that we feel could resonate probably, God knows how long.
Yeah, how did the whole thing take shape, Salaam? What did you first see in Mack to make you feel like you should sign him? Because, obviously, Mack, you come from an acting background. There's always that stigma, this kid wants to do music.
Absolutely.
Is he serious about it? How did you know he was serious about it, and what did you see in him?
I mean, I guess, first of all, I was a Super Wire fan, so I was stuck from season 4. And, it was like, all right, cool. It was like, after The Wire went off, I felt different about a lot of people around me. Like, yo, this is The Wire went off. Like, what's happening? Like, it really shook me up. But so when I met him at a BMI Awards in LA, and I was like, all right, dope. Took his numbers, hey, yo, can I come by and see you at the studio? So he was out there working on 90210, and I was doing some movie stuff. So he would literally come by at the end of my sessions after he get off set and just be chilling, watching. I was working on Miguel or different things, and he'd just be watching. But I never really asked him for his music. I know he did some stuff, but I was just peeping around, and I thought he was real cool. And then eventually he's like, yo, I'm doing a session, you mind if you stop by? So I'd sit by and watch him and, give him some writing pointers. Like, that's cool, but maybe you should think about this melody here, maybe you should write like that. So I just watched him develop on his own, and then he did a record with Warren Campbell called Cold, and I listened to it, and I was like, that sounds radio ready. I think you have the potential to do it. So what I did was, once I started my label and, got over at Sony the end of last year, I told them, come out, when you get out in the Christmas break, just come out to Miami for a couple of days. Let me see what you could do. So I threw it at him. Own It is something I started with Neo when I was in the zone. Like,
Own It record, okay.
The Own It record itself. So I started it with Neo for a Neo record, like, yo, we on my New York shit. Neo was like, whoa, that's it, but he never really finished it. He did the chorus in the first verse.
He just gave it a whoa.
Me and Neo was like, yo, that's it. He was like, he caught the energy of the track, and he was like, yo, this sounded like the club all day, but it wasn't where his project was.
Yeah.
I was always doing things with Miguel's, like, I'm from LA, so I don't know if I want to be on that New York breakbeat like All I Want Is You. So I was like, oh, word? Shit, I'm New York all day. Yeah. So I'm going to keep doing that, but then I gave him Kaleidoscope Dream because it had a Dre sample. Yeah. Or Neo heard, the Eric B. for President. Cool, he used Should Be You that had, E and PMD, but he just wasn't going to do a whole bunch of songs like that. So I was like, yo, Mac, I got this idea. Since we both from New York, we be in, LA talking about, ain't no duck sauce out here. We be on Volcano.
Like that? It's a problem?
Yeah, of course it's a problem.
It was
Let's fry rice without duck sauce.
Like, we was twisted, so we be ordering Volcano, looking at the rice like, these wings is from Volcano, this rice, but they ain't got no, I really would use some bulletproof right now.
Yeah.
So we be needing that. So either way, I was like, know what, we're going to do the New York now. So I was like, here, try this Neo song. I honestly didn't know if he could sing it, but I was like, I'm going to leave you in the room. So I left him in the studio in the crib. I was like, go ahead. And I sat back and I was listening. I was like, oh, shit. he pulled it off.
So how did you pull it off? How did you feel when that? What was your perspective on that when he gave you that track?
At first I didn't know it was a test. I was just like, all right, cool. We just gonna work on some records. I went in there. He kind of just was like, yeah, let's see what you can do with that. And me and the engineer got in there, rocked it out, and by the time I was done, I just went in there like, yo, like, what up? Can I finish writing it? And he was just like, you're done? And it was just like, yeah.
He rose to the occasion. I mean, actor, one thing, yes. Sing, and, you know, it wasn't like he was singing, auto-tune singing, playing through stuff. He really sang a Neo record. That's nothing easy for most singers. They actually be able to sing it and be at the levels and, hold on, you singing at the same keys? Like, you really did this. All right, cool, so I was open. Then I threw him the Fauntleroy record, You Can Cry to Me. Let me see if he can pull off this energy and really deliver it, because I'm always about the song. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to deliver the song and bring something real to it. So everything I threw at him, which was that, the Rico Love record, Magic, which Rico had written for Usher, and that, and he nailed all three of them a little better.
Free for free.
Damn near. He nailed it a little better than.
And did you know all the big names attached to it? Or did
yeah, I mean, I knew.
He heard them sing.
No, he told you this was these guys' record. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so he heard them singing
the
demos
of them.
Yeah. He heard the demos, and then he actually stepped above the demo. So I was like, all right, you know what? So when you finish your march,
challenge right there, man.
So he did that, and then I threw him the track for Henny. He sang "Remember the Time," kind of playing around against it. I was like, oh, and he's saying he wrote Henny. So I was like, Dad, you know what? I think I might have something here. So top of the year, he went back to 90210. So I was like, yo, when you finish the show in March, I'm gonna send you back to Miami, and we're gonna knock out an album. We did the paperwork, literally signed in March, knocked out the album in April in the month. Felt right for everything that we needed. Did all the videos that, you know, we got all together in the iTunes bundle. And then started our show in July. So I didn't know if he was gonna have to go back to the TV show in July. So I just did everything and put it together, and it just felt right. I'm always about albums and making sure albums are really consistent. And he stepped up. Everything I threw at him, he's like, he refused to lose.
So why did all those things come together right? Like, at that point, were you still trying to balance the acting thing, or were you full-fledged wanted to make the move towards music?
I think when 90210 ended, I was already like, you know, I want to try something new. I want to do something new, and music has always been my first love. So it just made sense, like, especially because the groove that me and Salaam found previously, you know, when he gave me the opportunity to come out there in March, it was like, okay, cool. Am I gonna go do this audition phase, you know, try to get on another TV show or a movie, or am I gonna go to Miami and fulfill what I really want to do in the first place? And I was like, I'm not gonna pass up this opportunity. Went out there, and whenever I'm in the studio, I live by one thing. It's either you got to show up and you got to show out. So that's what I did. Like, we got there, and it was just like, okay, it's no time for games. Day in, day out, we in here.
Yeah, the sort of same focus I guess you would have as an actor.
Absolutely.
The mental focus of it. What was the final thing you needed where you felt like, okay, this album's done now? Like, what was the final thing you guys worked on? Duck Sauce.
Duck Sauce was the final song.
And P-Rock did that, right?
P-Rock did that. I mean,
it was Duck Sauce and The Art of Falling.
Art of Falling, both of those. So those are both Pete Rock SP 1200 tracks. You know, over the years, you know, even in my work with Nas, I'm usually the one that's reaching out. So I'll be hitting up, yo, Nas, go see Premier. Yo, go get this done. I'm always doing stuff. So there's some beats that I heard from Pete Rock when he was working on the Down with the Kings album. So
Run DMC,
So I've been pressing Pete for at least 10 years.
Find those files.
Yo, can you go back in the SP 1200? He's like, why do you want SP 1200 beats? Why can't you just use 2000 beats? Or I was like, yo, there's this track you did. You got this, and this. So after me pressing Pete for a really long time, he came, he heard some of what Mac was doing. He was like, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm all right, I'm going to finally go look. But I literally, like, before Heavy Pass, after, I would be calling Pete so much. He'd be like, yo, Salaam, for real? So I pressed him, and he came up with like 70 SP 1200 beats from the 90s that Pete just kept pulling them up. Like, yo, I got him. So he played all these beats. And then I was like, all right.
Oh, tracks he had already made?
Yeah,
he
like
from
that time.
From that time, like real tracks. Both of those tracks are literally 1990s.
Classic Pete Rock production.
Probably older than me.
Wow.
For real. Close, real close. You born 89, so right up in the era. Yeah. So he literally was going through stuff, and then when I heard it, I was like, wow. So I played them all from Hack, and he picked out which ones he liked. And he literally just came in, bought the 1200 in here, dropped down the track. My man just went at the tracks and knocked them out.
So how much of it do you view as success? Like, were you worried about sales? And you said critical acclaim means a lot. Like, when did you feel like, okay, this album is doing well? I feel like this is a success. It's really impacting.
I think once I started to see once I started to see everyone talking about it, and not even just, you know, the critics. I think watching the fans, you know, and it'll be like the, you know, the hip hop fans to the, you know, the fans who used to watch me in 90210, and then worldwide, like people hit me up from Africa, from Paris, from London, just different places that are really connecting with the music, you know, past the whole stamp or of regional or New York record. It seemed like, okay, we did something, and we did something big. I mean, I still don't even, I guess I'm still not even fully recognizing how big it is, because I don't even think the record is even close to its fullest potential yet, but it's
just starting.
Yeah.
In the baby stages. I mean, the reality is, this is my concept. And my concept was like, look, I'm making New York music. We're better to start than in New York. I didn't think that I was going to go to Dallas and tell them, take off the 2 Chainz and play this Eric B for president. It's not that day. So my direct approach was like, all right, cool, we here. This is what we're going to do. We're going to hit the clubs all summer. And, you know, luckily
He be in that scene.
He needs to go back. So I was like, we're going to hit the clubs all summer, and you're going to run up in the DJ booth and sing your song. So I said, you know what? You are potentially the next star. So I'm going to give you the groundbreaking lane to run. So do New York. We in New York. We did Mac's house, did a little pop-up space, invited all the blogs to come through, throw their parties, everyday people, pre-game, you know, whoever wanted to come in, do something, Bossip, 2 Dope Boys. We actually got them all in to do it. And I think that it was just important for him to have the opportunity to grow it out just the same way everybody else does with their movement. Yeah. But then I had a record like Own It that is doing what it needs to do. And the reality is, I know that 90% of the people that have heard that song haven't even listened to the album yet. And by the time they do, they're going to go, I actually didn't think it was going to be that good.
That was just that one record.
Yeah.
They have no idea how good it is now. So they'll bite into this, and like I said, we got more than enough material, and I'm riding out. I feel like I have an opportunity to not only do something for Mac, but do something for the state of music, because, you know, he does sing as well. And now I'm saying, okay, who else got it? Who else is going to make a focused, put together song that represents a sound? And it doesn't all have to be throwback. Yeah. But it does have to be well put together songs.
Because I wanted to ask you that, like with the pressure in New York and being under the microscope, like he spoke about inspiring Action Bronson, his peers out there. It's like, how much responsibility is it for the young producers to build a new sound that a P-Rock had, or DJ Premier, or?
I think, you know, the reality is this. There was 2 things happening, and, you know, part of my career was I was focused on making beats. The other part of my career was I was focused on working with people who were incredible writers. You know, the Fugees, Wyclef, Lauren, and Pras, incredible writers on their own. They actually took the beat that, you know, Fugila that I made for Fat Joe and made it into a focused song, definitely with some sing-overs and pieces to it. Nas is an incredible writer. 50 Cent, one of the most brilliant writers we had.
What was it?
50 Cent. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Jackson, respect. So I'll say that at the end of the day, the reason why he's still focused and can do what he does, the reason why Kendrick, Kanye, they're brilliant writers. So having a dope vibe and having a whole crew and making 60 songs, and I'm not sure what you're really saying, and actually being able to focus the right songs, it's really about not only the producers making a beat and going, yo, my beat is dope, pass the L. It's really knowing how to make a focused song and be there.
The collaboration.
And I learned
also cutting out the fat, too.
Cutting out the fat. So I learned that from personally, you know, working on Craig G's album with Marley Marl. And Marley's watching what he did. 50 Cent learned from being around Jam Master Jay. There has to be somebody as a producer that's not only making a beat, but you also focus on a song, a lyric, and knowing how to take this young man, whether we know him or not, and say, okay, I know what to do with you. I'm going to put your shit together so that it's put together and packaged right. We come from an era where we got to know an artist by 1 or 2 focused 12 inches. I never seen Rakim till I Ain't No Joke. He ain't get no video budget.
No, he had My Melody.
But he had My Melody.
Now You Got Soul.
And Eric B for president.
Yeah.
Marley Marl pulling Rakim and Eric B's whatever. But Marley knew how to make a record. He was a DJ. He understood what that was. I Know You Got Soul. That was my favorite record. I was like, why is there no I Know You Got Soul video? I don't understand. I'm watching the Heavy D videos. Who's his dancers? Like, you know, what are we going to do with this? So the fact is that not only do the young producers need to make crack tracks, which I'm sure there are plenty of doing, because I hear it all the time, they also got to focus the songs. Because taking these young artists and having really focused songs, making sure your mixes are right, that's a producer. There's a beat maker and a producer. The producer's going to know how to put that stuff together, and it's needed for all sounds. And every beat doesn't need to be throwback. I'm just old, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm 41 years old. I made records in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? I'm 25 years in. Cool, I can go sleep right now. The reality is everybody coming up right now just needs to be focused on the songs, and that's what's going to bring the scene back. That, and then we need some way to play them.
Yeah.
We need our clubs back. We need a Payday downtown, a car wash, spots where you can go in there and you can hear the music and it's focused. And these songs got to pop all the way off because they got to be great songs.
Mac, leaning on like the throwback feel, like he was saying, he's 41. That perspective, it's like, do you almost, with the next project, do you have ideas of where you want to go? Do you want to feel like you're going to move away from that sound and kind of craft a new sound? Do you have any
I mean,
views of
I definitely, I definitely want to. I want to stay kind of in the New York realm, show the heartbeat of what New York really is. But as an artist, I'm definitely gonna grow. We've been playing around with a bunch of stuff already, so
got some concepts ready.
Absolutely.
New
Ideas,
We're about halfway done. So.
Yeah, it's real talk. Like we're already halfway
Don't
done
sleep.
through this next joint already. So
victory lap, I hear you.
Nah, we good. We good till next summer, but. 718 sounds good. That sounds like a good date, right?
Sounds like a good date.
Yeah, that's a good date to come out.
It's still gonna be reminiscent of what we know and love about New York, the feeling, the grit, the beauty of it, but it's definitely gonna be
Slow jams for the ladies and all that.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
all day.
Absolutely.
But also, I would say, this is something else that I always stay focused on, too. It's not that any music hasn't been made. Swiss has actually been making records straight through with New York. And still keeping records up to the current J album, the current Washington and different stuff. There are definitely people who have done it. I just think that there's a focus of the content now, everyone feeling like they need it. This was the point where everyone needed an R&B hook on the record in order to get their stuff flowing. At this point, a lot of the artists definitely have been working with what's happening because there's a venue. In New York, if you're going out to hear hip hop right now, I don't really know where you're going. We need a venue to be able to play it in. I don't know if it's a reopen of the speed tunnel or whatever it is we need to do to have a spot where we popping it off. Besides the radio, where we can see the records building up. I'm glad they're doing Battle of the Beats now. It's something else that was needed to actually have an accolade. But we actually need more of an incubator space and then focus. If you can focus on a song, like I hear a lot of artists and there'd be like 90 songs. Like you listen to my other mixtape, other mixtape. But there has to be a song that makes a grown man go, damn kid, you just took my job.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened every time. Every time we get that, there's a new movement. Kendrick actually shut down a lot of people in LA, made them feel like they couldn't write no more. They need to go back to Jordan Boy. Real talk. He got songs. He got songs in the focus, and it wasn't what they were talking about. He talked about it from his own space. Nas made, the G-Raps and Rakim go, Dag, I'm proud of you. Shorty kind of came up quick. Like there has to be that freshman that's making the seniors go, oh, for real? Oh, all right, that's how we going now? It has to be that.
How are you treating the community with your peers, you feel, some artists like that?
I mean, I'm just, just really seeing a lot of people, but, the as far as my peers, like I guess the up-and-comers, like the Kendricks and all of that, we all cool. I appreciate where hip-hop is right now. And to see that R&B is definitely coming back and making moves the way it is with the Frank Oceans and the Miguels and everything. It really, I really feel good about our music right now.
You seem like it's a unique situation where you're in a situation where there's a true partnership here. Like a lot of artists don't have that.
Yeah.
They got to run to different producers. Like it seems like at least with all your projects, Salaam could always serve as an anchor to what you're crafting.
Absolutely, and bigger than that, I mean, ever since I was 18, like the stuff that I was writing and just starting to get ideas of and everything, he was definitely that guy that kind of just was like, okay, just like he said, helping me trim the fat, making sure that the songs were, built the way that they really should be. So I think I since 18, I don't think he's gonna go anywhere now.
I mean, to be honest, my career, as I look back at it, I've been blessed to have made the first hit for the Fugees, whatever that would be. I helped anchor
Nappy Head's remix.
Nappy Head's remix. I helped anchor what it was, but the reality is that they had the talent. There's no shortage of talent. There's no shortage of talent in our city, in the country, in the world. There's a shortage of talented executives that know how to give those talented people a shot and give them direction, create constructive criticism to do it. Working on whether it was Miguel's first hit, Amy Winehouse's first hit, you know, the Fugees' first hit. It was just seeing something in them, like, they actually put in the work. They had the talent and they put in the work. They just need a little guidance. Like, you know what, if you go left and right, you're probably going to go on your way. So I'm proud that, you know, for me with Mac, he's going to do his own record. I already told him he's going to shoot his own video. He's going to do his own website. He's finishing now. He's finishing everything he want to do himself. Cool. I want you to do it. I want you to, matter of fact, go and produce somebody else. You know, the first Destiny's Child hit was produced by Wyclef. I produced Wyclef's first hit.
But all those big names, you think he has the potential to be part of the elite?
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. I mean, right now, he's a baby. We're on our first song off our first album. It's just coming out the gate. Like I said, everything I bounced at him so far, go ahead, do that. He took it to a whole nother level. You know, but he's like that with acting. You know, he started as a kid. You know what I'm saying? He had to focus. He had to know his lines. And his character on The Wire was someone of integrity. That was more than anything else. He went on to be, you know, dealing with the life situations that a lot of our hood youth have, but he still had integrity. He didn't take that man's money just because whoever you are, keep it moving. And that's still who he is, and that's who I am. That's the integrity. I'm not really about any of the bull, you know what I'm saying? I've been doing more records for a longer time than most people, but I'm not about woo woo whoop. It's about what did you do today? You know what I'm saying? I can't talk about the records I did 10 years ago and me walking around with it. What I do this week, what I do today, and I'm looking forward to next week, next year, and I'm looking forward to his future, because like I said, he gonna turn around. He already showed me a couple artists that been hitting him up. I'm like, what you gonna do? You gonna record her? You gonna do a song? All right, go ahead. Like, you know, because I'm looking forward to that. That's each one teach one. It has to be a community. There's nothing without a village. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where I came from. That's why I know it. That's what this whole DJ thing. I've seen many DJs come through the clubs, and it was like, you know, I remember Cypher at Fat Beats, and I watch Cypher Sounds now. You know, I watch a lot of people go through it as I've seen myself. It's been a long game, but
we still in it though.
We still in it. I can see myself being a 65-year-old hip hop. I remember what it felt like when I was like 19 and I was at the Zulu anniversaries, and they all singing something off a cassette that never came out that I don't know. And I'm like, what happened? But you know what? They also taught me something. They still was focused. You know what I'm saying? And get it done.
You got it done with New York A Love Story, man. Everybody should get that, man. Thank you, Salaam, man.
Check it out.
718 Max,
Yes,
718?
sir. 718.
We just get started.
Absolutely, man.
I want to thank you guys, man.
No, thank you, man. Seriously.
Yeah, we out of here, man. I want to thank Salaam and Mack Wilds for taking the time. What did you think of our conversation? Are you going to purchase New York A Love Story? Does the R&B game got a new voice? Does Kid Mac? Subscribe to youtube.com, Jay-Z's Life and Times. Hit us up on Twitter at Life and Times. Hit me up at Elliott Wilson and leave your comments. It's Elliott Wilson from Rap Radar, and that's the truth.
But there has to be a song that makes a grown man go, damn, kid, you just took my job.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened every time. Every time we get that, you know, there's a new movement.
Hey, it's Elliott Wilson from Rap Radar, and this is the truth, man. There's been a lot of talk this year about the state of New York hip hop. Why haven't Big Apple acts been making more of an impact? Studio with super producer Salaam Remi. What's up, baby?
What's up, man? How you?
And your artist Mack Wilds. What's up, Mac?
What up, man?
Yo, man, first of all, Salaam, you know, Mac, you don't know Salaam been hitting me in the head, man. He's talking about you for a while. I was sleeping, man. I'm awake now. I apologize. But no, I feel like a lot of people have, like, I feel like your project is one, like, a lot of records came out. It's been an exciting year in music, but your album is starting to really, you know, continue to grow and resonate with people. Like, it's almost like a sleeper of the year, or like, you know,
definitely.
a lot of my peers are bigging it up. We live in an age where people dispose music real quick. Well, I know one artist that's been quietly shaking up the game. A young man who is an actor turned singer, Staten Island's own Mack Wilds. Last September, he dropped New York A Love Story, a promising debut album overseen by Salaam Remi. Salaam is his producer and the man that signed him. And we were outside his offices here at Sony headquarters, and I'm gonna talk to the dynamic duo about their project and why they decided to bring back the traditional New York sound through R&B. Walk me, man, it's the truth. Yeah, man, Elliott Wilson for Rap Radar. It's the truth. I'm in this. What did you first see in Mac to make you feel like you should sign him? Because, you know, obviously, Mac, you come from an acting background. There's always that stigma, like, this kid wants to do music.
Absolutely.
Is he serious about it? Like, how did you know he was serious about it, and what did you see in him?
I mean, I guess, first of all, I was a Super Wire fan, so I was stuck from season 4. And, it was like, all right, cool. It was like, after The Wire went off, I felt different about a lot of people around me. Like, yo, this is The Wire went off. Like, what's happening? Like, it really shook me up. But so when I met him at a BMI Awards in LA,
yeah.
Your record seems to be keep gaining more and more momentum as we go into the next year.
Yeah, I know, man. Honestly, I think it's just the hard work that we put into it. You know, I think a lot of people are so used to making like microwavable, music to an extent that it's like, they're used to put it out and okay, I'm done with it, on to the next joint, where we really took our time and really cooked up something great that we feel could resonate probably, God knows how long.
Yeah, like how did the whole thing take shape? So I'm like,